Good morning and welcome to another 5 Minute Monday Mindset. I'm Coach Maggie, and today I want to talk about making allowances for others' faults. We are so quick to judge, and it really brings on a lot of stress. We see things that people do, and we immediately get offensive, we immediately get upset, and we don't make allowances. But yet, when it's reversed, we want people to make allowances for us. Oh, she had a bad day. Well, she's got a lot going on. Did you know her kids were sick? Did you know that she's dealing with, some real pain in her life? We want people to give us allowances, but yet we're not so quick to do it the other way around. And especially in this politically charged society that we're in, when someone makes a comment, everyone jumps on board and just attacks. And we don't know the backstory. We don't know the why behind it. And I think it causes us to live in such a stressful state that we're just always in angst. I remember once listening to someone, and it was sort of an interesting way to look at it. But they said if someone goes speeding by you or they're on your tail as you're driving, maybe they're blowing their horn at you, rather than get upset, take the opposite um, line of thinking and say, well, maybe they're on their way to the hospital. Maybe there was an emergency and they just got the news and they're in a hurry, rather than get upset, because all it does is they're upset. Now you're upset, then more than likely you're going to upset someone else by something that you do. And it sets off this chain reaction of people being angry. So today I want you to think about that. This morning when I was reading my Bible, I came across this verse and it made me start thinking. It says, always be humble and gentle. Be patient with each other, making allowances for each other's faults because of your love. So even when it's someone you don't know, make allowances. Let people off the hook. Let's face it, we all do stupid, dumb things. And we want people to let us off the hook when we make those mistakes, when we say the wrong word, when we do that thing. We want people to look at us and say, well, she didn't really mean that. And so we need to be able to give that same grace to others. So today, as you go through your day, I'm sure that we will have opportunities to get upset because of something someone does or says, or we'll have an opportunity to show grace and humility and let that person off the hook. Because again, it can start a wonderful spiral of them in turn letting someone else off the hook, and on, instead of us always judging, always being irritated by people, always being offended by people. So let's show honesty and love. And if someone does, let's say it's a friend or your spouse or your kids, let's say you do offend someone or someone offends you, then take a deep breath and then go in love and share that. More than likely, they didn't even know. Again, we tend to be that society where we just say what comes to our mind. We often don't use a filter, and a lot of times we're joking, but we don't realize we're hurting other people's feelings. So today, as I said, maybe within the next hour, we're going to have an opportunity to practice this, because someone is going to say or do something that could easily wound us, hurt our feelings, cause us to be defensive or downright angry. And we're going to have an opportunity to either show grace and humility and give an allowance. Give some room. That idea of giving an allowance. Make some space. They didn't do it on purpose. Okay? So let's think about that, because again, it's so easy for that to happen. Just a couple weeks ago, this point really was hit hard. Um, we were somewhere and I said something. I asked my husband a question, And it was funny because the way I said it and the way he took it were so totally different. I said, asked him if he wanted something. He thought I was offering him something, and he said no. And so I immediately sort of got offended because I was asking him to help me to do something with that. He thought I was offering him some, and he was simply saying, no, I don't want to. I don't want any. And so I took offense to that. And I sort of chewed on it for a little bit, and finally I thought, this is silly. So I said, why didn't you want that thing? He said, oh, I thought you were offering me some, and I was saying, no, I don't want any. Instead of, I was asking him to help me with that thing. And so I took it as he didn't want to help me. And he was like, no, I would never do that. But I could have stewed on that all day. And sometimes the words that are coming out of our mouth, that we know what we're saying, it's not what the person is hearing, it's not what they're receiving. And it really can cause a lot of conflict. So again, today, if there are things that just somehow rub you the wrong way, go back and get a clarification. Say, did you mean this? Because chances are they didn't. And if I had never said anything, if I'd not, and trust me, a lot of times I haven't, but this time, because I'm really working on that, because I can easily get my feelings hurt by a lot of people. And I think, oh, well, they don't like me, or they didn't. And it's not that. They heard it different than the way I said it. So let's make sure we don't go through each day feeling like, oh, that person did something to hurt me when that was not their intent at all. So again, I'm sure you're going to have an opportunity, and I will too today, because it happens all the time. So let's be careful to give people that allowance. Ask for clarification so that there aren't misunderstandings. And then talk it out and move on, knowing that there's no hurt feelings, there's no resistance between you. So anyway, love to know your thoughts. Have you found yourself in this situation? Share that with us. So have an amazing day and an amazing week. God bless.